Hi, this is a help video for Chapter 8, Guided Project 8.3. We're going to start on step 18 where we're creating a pivot chart. So we worked with a pivot table and this Courtyard Medical Dental Services. So we want to be inside that pivot table at some point. Doesn't matter where you're at. And then over in the, I'm going to open this up a little bit. In the pivot table analyze, there's going to be a pivot chart under the tools. Okay, so click on pivot chart. It's going to bring up a choice of different styles that you can use for the chart. We want a column and a clustered column, which is this very first one. But if I wanted to show you, if you just move across, it gives you the name of what the chart is. We want the very first one, the clustered. So we're going to go ahead and say OK. And then we just want to drag this so the top left is at E3 and the bottom right is at M24. Just like that. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so if we look at this chart, we have each of the row labels, which are the different, oh my gosh, I'm blanking what they're called. The different service codes. So these are the different service codes. And then we have build and average, okay, which are the two data points that we have in our pivot chart. Okay, so we want to click one of the averaged bill columns, so the gold ones. Notice that there's handles along all of them, and we're going to change that. I'm going to scoot this over a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to click just the column that's the gold. We want to make sure that that is selected. We come up to the Design tab, so it's to the right of Pivot Tools Analysis. We want to click on Chart Type. Right? And so we want to make this a down here where it says average build, we're going to click that and make it a line with marker. So we want total build, so we're on combo here, right? And that allows us to do different elements. So we want total build to be clustered, and we want average to be line with marker. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go ahead and click OK. So now we have the line with marker, and we're on to step H. So click one of the total build columns. That's the teal column. And we have handles around all of it. And we're going to change its shape fill. So we're going to come to the Pivot Tools Format tab. So we're going to move, we were in Design, we're going to move over one to the right to Format. And then we want to do in the Shape Styles, we're going to bring the More down. And, oh no, we don't want to change its themes. We want to do its fill. So the little paint can, change its shape fill. So that's this one. Little paint can. We're going to click down, and we want it to be teal, accent 5, darker 25%. Okay. Make sure I got the right thing there. Teal, accent 5, darker 25. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So the next thing, okay, so it does look very much like this. We need to add our slicer now. So a slicer is a way to filter this on the fly. And so what we want to add a slicer for is the insurance. So these are the codes, right? But we want to see by insurance company perhaps what the average and total billed are. So we can add a slicer to the pivot table. So click on any cell in the pivot table, not the pivot chart, pivot table. So then we were going to go up to the Pivot Tools Analyze tab, and there is a filter group, and right there it says Insert Slicer. So that's right, because it's in the filter group, you kind of are getting an idea what it does. So Insert Slicer, and you have to pick what field you want to be that filter or that way to slice information out. And we want it to be insurance. So we're going to click on insurance and do OK. So now I have this insurance box, right? And I'm going to position it so it's at 03, and the bottom is at Q15. Okay. Then we're going to format this slicer. So with it selected, handles around it, look, I now have a new tab called Slicer. I can click that, and here are our slicer styles. So we're going to click on that, and I want Aqua Slicer, oh, dark. So we're going to go down to the dark group, pick Aqua Slicer Style 5, Style Dark 5. So there it kind of matches up with everything we got going. So if you watch, I'm going to open this up. So the instructions have us just selecting CompDent, okay? So I'm going to open this up and show you what happens here. So watch what happens. If I just click on CompDent, it is only filtering this information for that one insurance. So my chart changed, my pivot table changed, and now I can, with the same information, I can pick and choose what I want, right? I can use my control key and do 2 different ones. I can reselect all of them, okay? So this is a way to filter the table and the chart so that you don't have to rebuild things. You can use it over this setup to get different data. All right, let's go ahead and select A1. And then the next thing we're going to do, it's really the last thing, is to generate some descriptive statistics. So we want to go back to, you know what, and I might have missed somewhere along the way. This sheet, this should be called Pivot Table 1 as the name. So I don't know if I missed that instruction somewhere. Just make it Pivot Table 1. This sheet that has all of our pivot information. Once you do that, go over to Dental. This is where we pulled that pivot information from. So we're going to come up to the data group, and then in the analyze group, we're going to do data analysis. And we want to do a descriptive statistics for it. Okay. And the input range is this data. So E4 through, A5 through E4. Oh my gosh. So sorry. I can't read. Canceling all that. Let's go back up. We're just going to do this build. That's what we're doing the statistics on. I'm sorry about that. So we're going to go data, data analysis, pick descriptive statistic, and then the range is our build. So E5 through E35. We want label in the first row. Nope. Oh my gosh, Helen. So, holy cow. We want to do the word build and include it. So we want it to be E4 through E35, and then we want to say the first row is a label. So Okay, so the difference being whether or not you include the label. So like the instructions have us do E4, which is the word build. So because there's the word build in there, we have to say the first row has a label in it so it doesn't mess up. Try and do statistics on text. All right, so output range is in the same, and so it's going to be G4. And we want summary statistics. Do OK. We want to auto fit these rows, these columns. And then see, this is why we included this label, because it automatically puts it here. So you want to put it and then just check that box that you're including it. So now we have all of these descriptive statistics about our build information. So at this point, you can save it and submit it. Thank you.